In this video, I'm going to be going over when is the best time to sell and buy your cards in NBA 2K23 Myteam. I get this question asked a lot on Twitter and just in the YouTube comment sections of when's the best time, what days, at what times during those days, and just going to give my overall auction house tips to try to save and make as much MT as possible, because I do think it's a very underrated way to at least hold on to some of your MT. Like if you're buying cards at certain times and selling them at other certain times, there is chances that you can make some MT, but also when you guys are just looking to pick up players and sell cards, you're not losing too much MT. Like you're not buying a card when he's super expensive and then selling him when he's super cheap. You're kind of doing the opposite, buying him when he's cheaper, and then if you wanted to sell him, selling him when he's higher. So just going to be going over that type of stuff in this video because I do get the question asked a lot. So let's first off start talking about when is the best time to be selling your cards. Once again, usually throughout a week. It could change depending on content. For example, now we are getting these super packs every single Tuesday, so that does change the market a little bit for some certain cards, because the best day to always sell your guys cards is going to be on Wednesday. 100%. That is the easily best day to sell your cards, and I know I am posting this on a Wednesday. I'm just saying that is the best time to sell your guys cards because content comes out on Tuesdays and Fridays. So that means Friday, we'll talk about here in a second, but the market's lower Friday, Saturday, and so I would say Sunday or Wednesday is, from what I've seen, the two best times to sell your guys cards, because Monday's a little bit risky. Sometimes I sell cards on Monday, they oversell or they undersell, like they sell for a lot more than I was expecting or sell for way less than I was expecting. So I would say the two safest days to sell your guys cards is going to be on Wednesday and on Sunday, because on Sunday, it's a weekend, the market's going slowly back up after usually the market goes down on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, when the new content comes out. So I think Sunday is always a great time to be selling your guys cards, and I think Wednesday is probably the best day. Now I will say for Wednesdays, you got to be careful of what cards you are selling, because if it's any cards in these new super packs that drop every single Tuesday, that's not when you want to sell these specific cards. So for example, if you have Dark Matter D-Rob, do not sell him right now. Do not sell him today on a Wednesday, because he just dropped in those super packs and now he's going to be a lot lower. He's down to about 90, maybe even a little bit lower now, down to about 85 to 90,000 MT. And I could easily see this card going back up to 100,000 MT bid, this coming weekend on Sunday or Monday. So I'd recommend holding on to D-Rob. Cards that are in these packs on Wednesdays, these are the cards you don't want to sell on a Wednesday. So if you have a Kevin Durant, cards like Ron Artest, Chris Bosh, Kevin Durant, J.R. Smith, just any cards, Dirk, for example, any cards in these packs, you don't want to sell on a Wednesday because they're going to be a lot cheaper. Our perfect example is Kevin Garnett, right? This card has consistently gone for like over 350,000 MT, at least 300k at bare minimum. He's been selling for consistently over the past couple weeks, but then now, because he's in these new super packs and a lot of people are opening up these packs, they have really high odds and a lot of dark matters are flying out of them. That means Kevin Garnett's going to be a lot cheaper. So I wouldn't recommend selling a card like Kevin Garnett on a specific Wednesday right after he dropped in a super pack. But a card that didn't drop, for example, Vince Carter, if you wanted to go ahead and sell Vince, I think this is a solid time to do so. Wednesday is usually the best time to sell cards, and Vince Carter isn't in those new super packs. So I think right now would be a decent time to go ahead and sell him if you guys wanted to. I'm not saying you guys have to sell all your cards on a Wednesday, you have to sell all your cards on a Sunday. I'm just saying if you guys wanted to, you have some cards sitting in your collection. For example, I have Vince Carter and I want to sell this card, so I'm probably going to do it later today. I also have other cards like LeBron and MJ I'm going to sell today as well, and maybe a couple other big cards that I might put up on the auction house. So that is the best time to be selling your guys cards, on Sundays and Wednesdays. But once again, you got to make sure that you're not selling cards on a Wednesday that just dropped in these new super packs. So last week it was like Luka, T-Mac, Vince Carter were like the main specific guys that got dropped in those packs, and they went down a lot in value. But if you wanted to sell your Radiant T-Mac, for example, he's gone back up a decent amount in price. Like I think he's around 350 on Xbox for a base T-Mac, and I bought mine for about 250k last week when he was in those super packs. So best time to sell your guys cards is going to be on Wednesday and Sunday. And now to talk about when is the best time to be buying your guys cards, and it's 100% going to be on Friday. The best day, not even close, is Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, when the new cards do expire, especially if it's a good content drop. But even now that we're getting 3 invincibles every single content drop, it doesn't really matter, the names, because it's an invincible card, so they're all going to be hype names, like Giannis, hype name, Scottie Pippen, hype name, Magic, hype name, Shaq, hype name, Tracy McGrady, hype name, LaMelo, hype name. So like, let's say for example this Friday we get, I don't know, LeBron, Curry, Larry Bird, something like that, right? All hype names in that drop. So a lot of people are going to want the new invincibles. If it's a Kobe, if it's a D-Rob, if it's a Kareem, right? Maybe they drop a Taco Fall, maybe they drop a crazy, Bull, something like that, down the road in the future. All invincibles are usually hype name, unless they drop like a John Stockton or a Chris Paul, then maybe those aren't as hype. But the best time to buy your guys cards is easily going to be Friday, and I'm saying specifically at 3 p.m. to about 5 p.m. Eastern time, because if you guys don't know, packs do drop at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going off Eastern time, that's just where I live, in Eastern. So for example, the new Splash Zone packs, they dropped on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and that means if people pull a card, right, like a LaMelo Ball, they pull a, invincible Shaq, they pull invincible Scottie Pippen, or just any bid cards for that matter, like any cards that are over 100,000 MT that you have to put up for a bid. That's when people do that, right? So they pull the card right away, because everyone always opens up packs, or usually most people open up packs right when the new packs drop at 11. And let's say they pull Scottie Pippen, right? They pull Scottie Pippen, they put him up for 4 hours, and that means he's going to expire around 3 p.m. Eastern time. And that's why I'm saying around 3 to 4, 5 p.m. Eastern is always the best time to buy cards on Fridays, because people are going to be looking to buy the new invincibles, all hyped about the new content drop, looking to buy, new cards in the Splash Zone set, the ripping packs. They're not, focusing on a Dark Matter D-Rob from season 5. No one's really bidding on a D-Rob, when he was a bid. No one's really bidding on a Taco Fall, for example. No one's really bidding on a Bill Russell before he was a buy now. So that's the perfect time to buy cards, and you can get a lot of cards for cheap. Like I've gotten, in past 2Ks, this 2K, so many cards for super cheap on Friday at around 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that is easily the best time to do so. And then even Friday is still a good time. Saturday still a pretty good time to buy cards, but the best specific time is going to be Friday at about 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, about 4 to 5 6 hours after the new packs do drop. So two best times to sell are going to be Wednesday and Sunday. Once again, make sure on Wednesday that you guys are not selling cards that were just in the super packs. And then the best time to buy your guys cards is going to be on Friday and Saturday, but specifically the best time is going to be Friday at about 3 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, that's the best time to sell your guys cards and to buy your cards. And now just to give you guys a quick auction house tip. I'm sure a lot of people do know about this. But just in case you guys don't, when you go to sell a card, this is really important, is you do not want to sell a card right after somebody listed one up. So this wouldn't be that bad of a time slot if I went to go list my T-Mac right now, because I'm going to be 45 minutes behind this one right here, 3:15, and then this one's still 23 minutes behind mine. So that's not a bad time slot. I try to aim like ideally for 30 minutes in between cards when you want to sell them. And once again, this is for bid cards only. So if it's a buy now, you just list it up for whatever he's going for. But for a bid card, like a Tracy McGrady, right? If for example, I had a Luka Doncic, I just want to show you guys, see if I can get a better example of a bad example. So if I go look at Luka Doncic right here, is there any up for like right after 4 hours? Yeah, there is. So this would be a terrible time, in my opinion, to list Luka Doncic card, because first off, you're only going to be 9 minutes, around 8 to 9 minutes, 10 minutes at most, right behind this Luka Doncic, who's first off got 43 Hall of Fame badges. So if yours is a base one with 30 Hoffs, that means people are going to bid on this one because it's got 43 Hoffs and a shoe. So that means your Luka's going to sell for less, because this Luka's right here only 8-9 minutes before yours, and then there's also one only 13 minutes behind yours. So if you list it up at 4 hours, that means you're going to be about 9 minutes behind that first Luka at 3:51, and then there'll be a Luka only 13 minutes behind yours, and someone else potentially can list theirs up, and kind of screw over your card as well. So make sure when you guys are listing your bid cards, a big key to success and selling for more MT, or at least having the chance, because selling cards on the auction house at the end of the day is probably like what, 70-80% luck at the end of the day. But I would say there's like about a 20-30%, not skill, but just where you can have some sort of control of how much MT your card sells for. So the best time to do it is 30 minutes of a gap from a card in front and a card from behind. So for example, this Luka on the left would have to say 3:30, 3 hours and 30 minutes left, and then this Luka on the right would be 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's like ideal. And also maybe if they only had 30 Hall of Fame badges, because you also don't want to list up a card right behind a super badge that one. Like if this one had 64 Hall of Fame badges or 60, whatever Luka can get, you don't want to list up your 30 badge one, because who's going to bid on your 30 badge one when all the whales, all the people that got tons of millions of MT are going to be bidding on that Luka in front of yours that does have, the maxed out Hall of Fame badges. So yeah, guys, that's just going to be hopefully a helpful video for you guys of when to sell your cards, when to buy your cards, or at least just the best times to do so. And then also like that auction house tip that I think helps me out a lot and just gives yourself a better chance. It's called spacing. Having good spacing does helps, sell your cards for more MT. I would say in the long run, it usually does have a better chance to make more MT. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and you guys did find it helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.